Himalayan monastery stays what life is really like. What does it really mean to leave everything behind, to swap the constant noise of our world for pure silence? I traveled to a remote monastery tucked away in the Himalayas to find out what life is actually like for the monks who call it home. This is a real look at their ancient rituals, their deep-set beliefs, and the lessons I picked up along the way about what it truly takes to be happy. Getting to the monastery was a pilgrimage in itself. It started with a shaky bus ride, hugging the side of a mountain and leaving the city chaos far behind. Then the trek began. With every step up, the air got thinner, the views became more intense, and the silence started to feel like a real, tangible thing. This isn't just about covering distance, it's about stepping away from everything you know. The world of deadlines and notifications just melts away, replaced by the sound of your own breathing and the crunch of your boots on the trail. You realize the difficulty is the whole point. You have to shed the outside world to be ready for what's waiting inside. And then I saw it, tucked right into the mountainside, a splash of maroon and gold against the stark grey rock. It felt less like a building and more like a living part of the mountain. Walking through the gates, the first thing I noticed wasn't just the quiet, but the kind of quiet. It was a peaceful, humming silence, broken only by the flapping of prayer flags and the low chanting coming from the main temple. A young monk, maybe 9 years old, looked up from sweeping the stone courtyard and gave me a smile so genuine it felt like the warmest welcome I've ever had. Right then, I knew this wasn't just about watching from the sidelines. It was about connecting. My old schedule was gone, replaced by the monastery's ancient rhythm. The day starts before the sun with a bell ringing at 4:30 a.m. in the cold, thin air. By 5 a.m., the main hall is filled with the deep, vibrating sound of morning prayers, a sound that feels like it tunes the very air you're breathing. Life here is brought back to the essentials. At this monastery, the day was structured around 2 simple vegetarian meals, both eaten with everyone before noon. The rest of the day is a cycle of chores, study and practice. Everyone has a part to play. I'd watch young novices spend hours in intense study and philosophical debate, a core part of their education, with their voices echoing in the courtyard. The older monks would look after the monastery's buildings or offer guidance. There's no idle time, but there's no sense of rush either. Every single act, whether it's sweeping the floor or reading scripture, is treated as a form of meditation. I thought I came here to see what monks do. I quickly learned the real story is in how they are. One afternoon I sat with an elder monk, a man with a kind face full of peaceful wrinkles. I asked him, through a translator, what the secret to happiness was. He smiled, a gentle, knowing look in his eyes, and said, "We don't search for happiness, we cultivate peace. Happiness comes and goes, peace is the soil it grows in." He explained their life wasn't about rejecting the world, but about understanding the mind. By training their minds with meditation and compassion, they find a type of contentment that doesn't rely on anything external. I looked around at the other monks, at how easily they laughed and the light in their eyes. I realized their smiles came from somewhere deep inside, from a real appreciation for life itself. If this peek into a different way of living resonated with you, think about subscribing for more stories that look for meaning in the quieter corners of the world. Your support is what makes these trips possible. Leaving the monastery was somehow harder than getting there. I was going back to a world of noise and distractions, but I felt like I was carrying some of that silence with me. The biggest lesson I learned is that simplicity isn't about having less, it's about making space for what actually matters. More peace, more awareness, and more connection. You don't have to live on a mountaintop to find this, but my time there was a powerful reminder that the most important journeys are the ones we take inside ourselves.